I can do this. Ah! Oh! That book flew across the entire room.
I'm not helping you. Rob can do this when he gets home.
I still have to film all of these. Hello, my friends. It's Kayla. Something that has been glaringly missing from my channel in the last 3 months has been book hauls. I haven't done one since April, so we can call this my summer book haul. I keep meaning to film them and I keep forgetting, and now I have just, well, you can only see a little bit. All right, well, there's a butt ton of books over here. Should we count them for old time's sake? Almost 50, but that's over 3 months. It's fine. I have bought a lot of brand new releases. I've found some really good thrift store things. I've had some books sent to me. Where should we begin? New stuff. Let's talk about new stuff. And a good amount of these you will have already seen if you watch every single one of my vlogs. So we're gonna start. I could have tried. I could have tried a little harder. This is a collection of Pelican Shakespeare. In the video that I bought these in, I said I'm gonna buy, what did I say, 7 at a time, and then I would only have to do this 7 more times. I haven't done it any more times. I do want to own this whole collection, but right now at my local indie, they had Hamlet, Macbeth, Othello, Romeo and Juliet. This is my favorite aesthetically. And then these ones are The Taming of the Shrew, A Midnight Summer's Dream, A Midsummer Night's Dream. Oh my god. And Much Ado About Nothing. They have a really good amount of intro and text at the beginning. I've only read one of these so far, but I have read them all in my previous life. Next up, let's talk about thrillers. I bought They Never Learn by Lane Fargo, which was a Literally Dead Book Club pick. We did a live show on this. I'll link it down below. This is about, was I supposed to tell you what all the Shakespeare books, plays, things were about? I don't know. This is about a professor and a student and revenge type murder on campus. This one I haven't read yet. It's called 6 Weeks to Live by Catherine Mackenzie. What have I read from Catherine Mackenzie? Oh yeah, I read I'll Never Tell, which I really liked. So I just picked this up. I think it was in the maybe $15 section. And this is about a woman who only has 6 weeks left to live. She gets diagnosed with a brain tumor. And while in diagnosis, she realizes she was possibly poisoned. We're also following her 3 adult daughters and how they're dealing with the news. And some of them suspect her husband, and just trying to figure out the mystery around that. The next thriller I'm currently reading, because it's a Literally Dead Book Club pick for, what month are we in? July. Survive the Night by Riley Sager. I'll be doing a live show at the beginning probably of August for this. And this is the one where there's a college student and she goes on a trip with a man. She hitches a ride and he might be the campus killer. Dun dun dun. Next up is this, do we call this a thriller? I think it's a thriller. Ace of Spades by Farida Abikayamide. This is a YA dark academia secret society vibe book. Oh, it says high octane thriller. I've heard incredible things about this. I haven't heard a single bad thing. So we're at an elite school. The group is called the Aces, and they begin to send anonymous text messages to reveal secrets. And we're following 2 characters who are trying to stop the sick pranks before they get deadly. Next up is a horror that I picked up. It's Goblin by Josh Malerman. I feel again, I've talked about this a couple times. It is 6 horror novellas. On the flip side, I haven't heard good things about this, but I also don't know if the people who I've seen pick this up love novellas and short story collections, and I do, so I'm just assuming it's gonna be my favorite thing. That's what I think. I think the cover is stunning. I didn't even know this was coming out at the beginning of the year, and I'm just so hyped to read more from him. And then a mystery thriller I picked up and read in a video, here it is called The Butterfly House by Katrine Enberg, and this is about it's not the first book in a series, and it follows detectives who are solving these crimes. There's people who are found in bodies of water, and they're all connected to this health facility, and it was just okay for me. Next up, let's do some non-fiction. So I picked up Feminist Theory from Margin to Center by Bell Hooks. I can't really pitch this to you because I haven't read it, but I've heard it's one of the best books about feminism out there. Everyone has read this. She's written a ton of things, and this will be my first read from her. I also picked up, oh my gosh, and read The Disordered Cosmos, A Journey into Dark Matter, Space, Time, and Dreams Deferred by Chanda Prescott Weinstein. I reviewed this. I loved it. It's exactly as described. It's about like her life working in the field, and also about like space, and also about education and barriers and prejudice. And it was just like one of the best organized nonfictions that I've read. Or maybe, I feel like I've said that a lot about a lot of nonfiction books that I've read in the past like year. So maybe I just like had certain assumptions about nonfiction prior in my life. Next, let's do, what should we do? Short story collections. So I have Burning Girls and Other Stories by Victoria Shanos, which I read because I signed up for like this book box subscription called Page One. I don't have the other book anymore that came in it, otherwise I'd be hauling it too. But these are short stories all about, they're kind of like, they feel like fairy tales. It's about fierce women at the margins of society. That's how it describes itself. Then I picked up Blackout, which I still haven't read, and it's hurting me. I think I read the first, did I finish? I think I finished the first story in here, and then I put it down for something else, and I need to pick it back up. These are love stories. Danielle Clayton, Tiffany D. Jackson, Nick Stone, Angie Thomas, Ashley Woodfolk, Nick Leune, all authors I read from before and enjoyed before, I'm pretty sure. So it's so short, and I should really get it done, but it takes place during a blackout, and it just sounds so good. Oh, and then another short story collection is Einstein's Dreams by Alan Lightman, which if you watched this two-part series, you already know that this was a rough one. It's someone's perspective on how Einstein came up with all of his theories. It's a beloved book. We're not gonna shit on it today. Next, how about some YA summary stuff that I should be reading? But clearly I'm very behind on my new releases. So this one is Sunkissed by Casey West. I love how it looks. It takes place camping. We've got Avery. She is having a summer romance with Brooks. There's a disaster, self-discovery. It's Casey West. It's gonna be lovely. Next up, I have Honey and Issue's Guide to Fake Dating, which is an equally cute cover. Like, this is the color scheme of summer 2021. This is by Adiba Jagladar, who also wrote one of my favorite YA contemporaries, The Henna Wars. And this one is a fake dating scheme, as it says. It's about love, it's about friendship, it's about the competitive nature of education. The other one I have in my stack actually was sent to me, so that's Rise to the... Oh my god, am I okay? Rise to the Sun by Leah Johnson. Again, an author that I have read and loved before, so I was kindly sent this by Scholastic. I don't think I've ever got, I don't even know like how this arrived to me, to be honest. Like, I don't think Scholastic has ever sent me anything. They might have sent me one thing years ago, so I was very surprised to see a super cute book box arrive, as this was one of my most anticipated reads of the year. It has to do with these two girls and they're best friends and maybe more, and they go to a festival, and I think something happens at this music festival that like brings them together. I've already shown you this in a couple videos, but again, Mr. Impossible is here. I haven't read it yet. I get asked at least once a day from a comment or a message or a tweet, somebody asking like if I've read it yet, if I'm doing a dedicated video, like what's going on with it. And I don't know. I want to read it, but for now I'm just looking at it. It's the second book in the Dreamer trilogy, Ronan Lynch spin-off from the Raven Cycle, future like college age years. I've heard some wild stuff goes down in this book, and I just don't know that I'm ready for it yet. Next up, again, I've shown this in a couple videos because it's so beautiful I can't not. This is The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. I really just picked this up because of how it looks. No. Last year I read a lot more witch books and enjoyed a lot more witch books than I ever expected to, and I figured this would be a good one to read this year. Do I know what it's actually about? Definitely not. Clara is an Everwitch. Everwitch's control is faltering as the atmosphere becomes more erratic. Oh, it's like climate fiction. We're following her for like a full year of her life. Like it goes through different seasons, which is cool. And it says it's about a powerful witch who must decide if using her volatile magic to help the world is worth the price of losing the person she loves the most. High stakes magic. Good vibes. Another magic book that I bought and already read, at least I read this one, it's called The Midnight Bargain by C.L. Pope. This was selected for me, again in my 2-part series, and it has to do with a woman who has magic, and it's about like control. It's based in a society where the men have control over their magic and therefore control over their wives' magic, and there's a great cast of characters. It's fun, it's interesting. And then the other book that I read for that video and I picked up the UK edition of The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern because I preferred this cover and I thought this was going to be like an all-time favorite. So like I was like, I'm gonna get the cover that I am gonna spend more money to get, and it's just like the perfect part of my collection. So every time I hold up like my favorite books, like this beauty is on display. I didn't like this book, unfortunately for me. It's still stunning, and I know so many people love this so much, so definitely never let me influence anything. It's about, oh god, I don't know what this is about. It's about a man and librarians and this like underground labyrinth secret club, stories of your life. It was one I definitely hyped myself up a little too much for. Same with the next one, Darling by Kay Ingram. This is a Peter Pan retelling set in like modern, current day, contemporary. We have Wendy, who's just like living her life in Chicago. She just moved and she meets this wild boy named Peter, and he whisks her off into just like a really unsafe environment. And I read that for this recent video if you want to check out my full thoughts. The last thing that I bought brand new is Letters in a Bruised Cosmos, which is a selection of poems from Liz Howard. I know nothing about this. I just really like the word cosmos. That's actually the only reason I got it. Let's move on to things that were sent to me because I already accidentally talked about one that was sent to me. So again, starting with thrillers. This is For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing. The publisher kindly sent this to me as it is an upcoming Literally Did book club pick for the month of August. It's about this man named Teddy who is a professor, and he is like maybe a terrible person, but like doesn't think that he's a terrible person. I still don't fully know the plot of this, but I also don't want to like look at anybody's explanation of it because I just want to go into it not knowing much except that I adore Samantha Downing's writing, and I'm making you all read it with me, and I think it's gonna be so good. Next up, Simon & Schuster sent me quite a few things that I was not expecting this month. One of them was Such a Quiet Place by Megan Miranda, which is one of my most anticipated reads of the year. This is about like a quiet neighborhood, and it's like a typical story of like somebody leaving town, there's an investigation, and then like 20 years pass and that person is back in town, and it's like, did this person really kill that person? Or now we get to find out the truth about the situation. Has there been like a killer amongst us all of these years? I think it's gonna be so good. They also sent me My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. I'm actually not gonna be reading this until October. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So I'm sending this out to a couple of friends, and then it will make its way back to me, I think. But this follows a girl who is a huge horror movie fan, and then she's gonna have to use all the things she's learned from horror movies throughout her life, because her life basically becomes a real life horror movie, because she is living in a lakeside town in Idaho, and tourists begin to go missing. A lot of things are changing in the town. People are moving, building things, and there's gonna be a lot of violence, as is typical for this author. And I can't wait. Another one they sent to me that I was not expecting is The Wild Ones by Nafisa Assad. This I talked about as being one of my favorite covers. I think I was only talking about it on like Twitter, so I don't know if this is something that they knew that I was looking for, or if it was just like a random unsolicited one, but this comes out in August. I don't actually know many people who have this on their TBR, so I don't have anybody in mind to send this to after I'm done with the arc. So feel free to message me on Instagram if you have been interested in this one but didn't get your hands on an early copy. Hopefully I can read this ASAP and send it along. But this is a story of like women like coming together, working together, and persevering. A girl meets a boy and he tosses her a box of stars, and with those stars she travels to places of pure magic and mystery, and now she collects girls using their powers to help save other girls from pain and scars. And now that boy is in danger and these girls need to come together to save him. I'm just so looking forward to checking this out. The next thing that showed up that again I was not expecting is Along the Saltwise Sea by A. Deborah Baker, aka Seanan McGuire. This is the I can't reach it. I thought I could reach it. I overestimated myself. The second book in the, what is this called? This is Over the Woodward Wall. The Up and Under, the series is called. We're following two characters, Zib and Avery. Yes, Zib and Avery, and the magical world that they visit. This is like a spin-off companion thing to Middle Game. And this is the next book. I originally gave that one 4 stars and I was excited to continue to follow these kids. So looking forward to checking that out. And then I got sent a final copy of One Last Stop with some super cute like stickers and artwork from St. Martin's. This showed up a little bit late, so it is available now. I'm sure so many of you have read it. I've been seeing reviews pop up everywhere. And this one was sent to me because I posted this picture of me like fake having the book because I wanted it so bad. And now that it's here, I'm nervous to get into it, but I'm excited. It's a love story that also is like stuck in time a little bit, which just sounds like everything that I need if I'm going to read a romance. So that's very cool. Next up, I've shown you this again in a couple vlogs because I can't stop staring at it. This is one of my 5-star predictions of the year, Summer Suns by Lee Mandelo. This one says it's one part The Sound and the Fury, one part The Fast and the Furious, and one part The Secret History, which is a very interesting combination. It's a queer Southern Gothic story. There's a boy who's died and his friend ends up moving into his like dorm room and like taking over his life kind of. So like the friends that he had, he now has, and the danger he was in, he's now in, and he has to deal with all of this like weird stuff going on. The last thing that was kindly sent to me is Switch by A.S. King, which again I still haven't read. I had it on my summer TBR. Summer's not over yet. It's fine. This is one of my most anticipated reads, as is an A.S. King book pretty much every single year of my life. This is about a girl who lives in a house where there's like a switch and no one touches it. Her father protects it, and then he like builds these boxes that everyone has to like live in. I don't know, it sounds very A.S. King surrealism that I'm absolutely craving. Now my battery's gonna die, so let me fly through these thrifted books quickly, and I think they're the ones that I should get through the quickest because like I don't know much about them. It takes a lot less knowledge about the book in order for me to pick up a book from like Value Village because it was only a couple dollars. So these are really just books that I have seen other people talk about and I got them. This one I didn't realize was an arc when I picked it up. It's called And Now She's Gone by Rachel Housel Hall. I believe it's a thriller. She has a thriller that came out last year that I was interested in, one this year I'm interested in, but like let's start here with this thick thing. This features 2 complicated women in a dangerous cat and mouse game. A very, very vague synopsis. Let me know if you've read this and loved it. There's like a missing woman. I don't really know. This I found for just a couple bucks. Again, I've never read an Adam Silvera, but I hear amazing things. I saw it, I grabbed it. I don't know which one this really is. It's called More Happy Than Not. I really don't like the cover. A family tragedy leaves him reeling. He's discovering things about himself, and perhaps he's falling in love with a boy named Aaron. This is Prosperous Demon, which I read. It's a short book about what's the word? Oh my god, exorcism. It's about exorcism, as is this one, which I'm very hyped to read, My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. I keep being told that Grady Hendrix is going to be like my favorite author. I've just never picked up anything. I don't know anything beyond it looks very cool and it's called My Best Friend's Exorcism, and it's set in the 80s. Like, that's actually all I want to know. Supernatural, thriller vibes. Okay, as always, when I go to film a haul, something shows up while I'm filming. So I'll go through the last couple of thrift store things really quick, and then we'll do that at the end. This is The Effort by Claire Holroyd. It is a sci-fi kind of thing. It's about a comet in Jupiter's orbit. It poses a threat to the human race, and we're following the assembling of an international counteraction team and all of the different recruits involved. Next up, I picked up this stunning cover. I love the colors. It's called Two Trees Make a Forest: In Search of My Family's Past Among Taiwan's Mountains and Coasts by Jessica J. Lee. I saw this. This is in one of my, like, I showed you before, this folder I have on Instagram that I just like save anything that looks interesting, and then I saw it on sale, so I had to grab it. It is Jessica's story of finding a bunch of letters written by her grandfather. It takes her to Taiwan, and she connects with her grandfather over like all the places he went and the things that he talked about. Next up, actually this isn't thrifted. Actually, a couple of these weren't thrifted. I don't know why I said thrifted. I was thinking of these because I got them again in that experiment video where books were chosen for me. So I guess I don't think of them as things that I... Well, no, wait, this was secondhand because it was bought by an Etsy seller who was selling secondhand. Okay, this one's fine. Dorothy Must Die by Danielle Page. I have absolutely nothing to say about this. It's a Wizard of Oz retelling that isn't something that I ever thought I wanted. And then Never Have I Ever by Jocelyn Jackson, which I was like on sale, so I guess that's where my mind is. But this was in a blind date with a book at my local indie. It's about a game, kind of, between women. It's kind of deadly, not really. Another thing I found is called A Cruelty Special to Our Species. Poems by Emily Jungmin Yoon. I think this is another one that I saw on somebody's page, and I just thought that it looked like something I needed to have. It says she confronts the histories of sexual violence against women, focusing in particular on so-called comfort women, women who were forced into sexual labor in Japanese occupied territories during World War II. Then I grabbed The Animators by Kayla Ray Whitaker, which I read recently in my Kayla experiment to see if I love books written by people with the same name as me. The answer was no. I don't know how to really describe this one. Two women in animation and just like their struggles with their friendship and relationships throughout time. Lastly, I picked up Monkey Beach, which you might recognize as a library book that I picked up, and then I found it at the thrift store, so I grabbed it. It's by Eden Robinson. It is about Heisla woman, the Heisla community, some like magical stuff, just some contemporary vignettes, this woman growing up, her brother going missing, and just memories of her family. So, lastly, this never works for me. This should be one of my 5-star prediction pre-orders for 2021. I'm so excited to see what this looks like in person. Yeah, it's just as pretty as I thought. This was a very like, because the cover's beautiful, the book's gonna be beautiful, right? That was one of those decisions that I made. It's A Lesson in Vengeance, nice, by Victoria Lee. How do we describe this one? It takes place at like a private school, and there are like paranormal rumors. It's supposedly haunted by the spirits of 5 Dalloway students. We're following a girl named Felicity. Her girlfriend recently died, and now she is attending the school, and there's also a new girl attending the school who won't let her forget what she had previously left behind with the haunted portion of the school. I think it's gonna be amazing. Don't fully understand everything going on, but it was a 5-star prediction just because it was. Okay, that's everything I bought. I'm not gonna hold it all up because I did that before and I dropped it all and Liam judged me. But please let me know if anything is speaking to you. Did you see anything that you want to read, that you've read and loved, that you think I should read? Give me any feedback on upcoming like videos and books that you think I should check out, and I will see you next time. Bye.